shouldn't be doing a video right now. This is Travis Wayne Goodsell. Either you guys have all gone to sleep, or I have been completely censored by the YouTube employee who's hating me right now, who's working this shift and has helped to cancel or remove the video I did on my own personal health issues, my own personal health problems. So I can't go to sleep right now. That ain't gonna happen now. I mean, I can sleep in tomorrow. I don't know. I still gotta figure out if I'm gonna go running. But yeah, I'm under full attack. So let's go over my lawsuit, shall we? So on, my goodness, we got to go back to a little ways further here. Alrighty. So, on the 15th of May, which was Friday, 2020, Judge Oberg was newly assigned to my case. She just got hired, she just started work, and she's assigned to my case. And so it took her until the 21st of May to review the whole case, and that was the next Thursday. And so most likely she didn't start until Monday. She was just assigned it on Friday, and then Monday when she came in, she began going over the case. That would be my guess. And so on that Thursday, the 21st of May, she does order denying as moot 12 motion for recusal, as she's now been reassigned to the case. So it's moot for the recusal of Judge First. She's no longer working the case. Although Clark Waddups was included in that. Then she also, on that same day, did an order denying service of process. Because the church had claimed that they had received my summons, my waiver of summons, and had been served. And under First, I had to put in a motion reply talking about how there's new guys on the case, but I have not received the motion to dismiss that they claim they filed with the court. You're supposed to file certificate of service. So after I had sent that in, 2 days later they then filed their certificate of service and slow mailed it to me. And so I was then able to later put in on June 1st which I didn't file on Monday. I filed on Friday, but the clerks purposely held it until Monday and filed it then at 9:18 a.m. when they got into work and got around to it. And so that was when I filed a final default judgment, entry of default for some certain, strike motion to dismiss, disbarment, and disciplinary action. And so the new judge assigned to my case took only a day, no, 2 days. It was filed at 4:38 p.m. right as the clerk's office was closing for the day. She was able to get it in a little later than they would have wanted, but got it in. So 2 days it took her to do an order denying that full set of motions. And so then I, realizing that she's now struck that down, was going to do a whole string of stuff. So I started motion to strike with prejudice on June 4th. It's the very next day, because I'm paying attention to the docket, because that's the quickest way to find out about my case. And so I did a motion to strike, their motion to dismiss. I did it with prejudice. And the very next day, Judge Oberg immediately ordered denying 25 plaintiff's motion to strike 17. And so I had not received it in the mail yet, but that changed everything. For on the 27th, or on the 5th, Friday, I didn't see this. So I had done on the 4th the motion to strike with prejudice, and then on the 5th did the revision of motion for disbarment and disciplinary action. It was a new motion, different accusations this time. And so, yeah, I had not seen 26 yet. I didn't see it until the morning. And I filed first, even. I filed at 1:04 p.m. That's when the clerks put it in. It was actually 11, so it took them a couple hours to put it on the docket. And then Judge Oberg, her order denying the previous day's motion was at 3:07 p.m. on the Friday. And so the one that was at 4:38, she most likely got it in right around closing time, and so the clerk stayed that extra 8 minutes to make sure it got put on. I'll do it for her, just won't do it for me. But yeah, so that Saturday morning, I'm about to work on the next phase of the filings for that weekend, and I find that order denying the first wave. And so I completely redesigned it, and so Sunday finished and filed. And they correctly put it in that I emailed on Sunday, June 7th, because I had exposed the clerk's office in I think it was the 7th file, the Sunday filing rather. I probably put some in the Friday filing also. I'd have to go back and review them. But Sunday, I have the filings with exhibits. And the exhibits included Donna, 1 October 2015, 11, and Donna, 1 October 2015, 19. That's when Karen and I got married at the Salt Lake Temple, room number 13, and had our pictures taken by our Relief Society president, Donna, as we were at the traditional door of the Salt Lake Temple, and had the hands on the doorknob, and Donna, has done what others I've seen online have not done, got the whole door with the keystone. She had not have done that. If she had done as everyone else has done, serving a mission at the temple, getting married, or just taking pictures of the temple at that door, I never would have known about it. I knew about Nauvoo, and when I did church history, or when I did my own church history research, found out some other important details that get left out by everybody else who's been studying it, both Mormon and critic alike. Mormon I understand, but LDS critic to miss it. But yeah, the inverted pentagram of Lucifer. And so also put in the Seagull Gate Temple Square picture as well. And the reason why is because of that inverted pentagram, in which I put in the amended motion to strike. Because, and the motion for final default judgment. So I redid the motion to strike based on the motion for disciplinary and disbarment action, discussing that Judge Oberg was purposely put in, as I kept repeating over and over again her previous employment as a federal defense counsel, that she was purposely put in to dismiss my case, as evidenced with her quick dismissals or denyings, 2 and then 1 day later. And so after these 2 filings on the 5th and the 7th, nothing. It's now about to turn July 1st, as we're into going on after 10 o'clock so far, and filed Friday, the 26th, a motion for immediate final default judgment. Now, why would I do that? To point out to Judge Oberg, hey, you're not following your modus operandi. You were quick and hasty in the beginning, now you're taking your time? Well, since you've taken your time, guess what else has been going on? And I listed all the criminal actions that have been taking place and the confessions by defense counsel and the clerks and the judge herself, but other criminal activities. Because Percy had threatened me once again. He was trying to save face in front of the other tenants, telling them, oh, I can't come back anymore. Travis is a terrorist threat. And why am I not being arrested and hauled out of my apartment? If I'm the terrorist threat, and you know that I'm the terrorist threat, why are they having you leave? Come on. We all know that it's because of those filings on the 5th and the 7th that Percy had to leave. Because he got caught as, on the 5th, there's some exhibits that I submitted with that motion for disbarment and disciplinary action. And the lawyers wanted to separate themselves from Percy and the landlord, as I had problems with my air unit. That's why I have these sounds going off, guys. I had a subscriber today, a subscriber who has not seen enough of my videos to understand why there's the air units blowing around and messing up the sound quality of my videos. And so, yes, exhibit. Attention 3. Eviction notice. That was where I was given a death threat by Percy and my landlord, who are named in the lawsuit as contributing, because my lawsuit is RICO Act conspiracy. And I had to point out in that filing that despite the education, passing of the bar, getting licensed, getting hired at a law firm, and getting assigned to this case, that they were completely oblivious to the federal filings for these, for the jurisdiction. And so, yes, I also again put in, because she had dismissed or denied previous filing where I had put it in, I had to put back in exhibits 1 and 2, Nancy B. Cohn website, Nancy B. Cohn, PhD. Wonder what those are. Those were pictures of her website showing that she had been getting paid by the church. She's the one who had me disappeared under orders of the church, who was filing against me back in 2008, which, of course, they got the free prosecution lawyers to help them file on behalf of the state, which everybody who's a victim of crime is supposed to receive. So yes, the church was filing against me. I filed against the church and the state. The state then turned around and sued me instead on behalf of the church. That's how it works in the state of Utah. You're not allowed your First Amendment rights. How dare I? It's a petition for a redress of grievances if you don't know your First Amendment. And so, not only did I expose that, as the hearing on the 1st of November 2019 with Judge First was where it was brought up, I also showed that after I had notified Judge First, after I had filed the amended complaint, that I noticed that Nancy B. Cohn had changed her website page. It no longer showed being paid by the church. And so the church was involved in covering it up after I had brought it to the attention of the judge in my court case against the church. I caught them in the act of the crime that is usually investigated, because you always follow the money. And caught them, found the money trail, and then they tried to cover it up. Busted in the midst of the case, nonetheless. And so, yeah, those two filings shocked everyone. You know, I'm pointing out the crimes that the church had been caught involved in, I'm exposing the church for using the symbol of Lucifer and showing that they control the government of Utah. That's the Seagullgate symbolism. And silence. Church went into silence. Holland got sick, literally sick, after finding out, after his interview with the guy from Jerusalem that morning. The lawyers would have advised their clients, hey guys, we just got some filings over the weekend. We need to go over them with you. And yeah, it took a week later for the church news to report that, oh yeah, by the way, Holland had been hospitalized last week after several days of being ill. Which didn't give much time, as he was perfectly healthy during that online interview on Monday morning. And so, yeah, then they keep committing crimes because Judge Oberg's taking her time and is no longer taking a day or 2 days to file, especially one saying, nope, denied. And so she's stuck. She knows I won. The church knows I won because I got more death threats during this waiting period. And so, yeah. And then tonight, of all nights, they go after me for my discussion of my personal health. I'm talking about tennis elbow, I'm talking about having donated plasma and blowing out my vein, and the mold problem that I had breathing problems with. That's how I got my masks. I think it's kind of interesting. Mold last year, that the landlord tried to have me murdered because she refused to fix the air vent. All she had to do was have it cleaned because it was late. It ended up being 2 years late in being cleaned. And so yes, there were some problems, and I couldn't breathe. And the emergency doctor gave me some masks because that's all she could do. There's nothing that can be done for me. That's the problem, the air unit. And the landlord refused to do anything about it. It's not an emergency. Oh, you can't breathe? Move. That's what they've been wanting. That's what I've been trying to expose ever since they made their attack and had me forced my wife at the time to leave me so that they can then attack me, because she was my defender. She was my shield and protection against the power of the adversary. Literally. And it's sad that she's now gone from my life, because they hated me so much. And they tried to get rid of me by torturing me, threatening my life, my health, my safety. And nobody would come to help me. And so I said, enough. I connected everybody to the church and filed the lawsuit, and then found out about May and Nancy. And yet I'm still being attacked during all this time. And what have I done? I'm not the aggressor. I'm the defense. But I have to be the aggressor to prosecute. I don't get the state or the United States to take my case. I had to do it by myself. I can't afford a lawyer. That's part of the victimization that I've received. And yet, those 2 filings slammed. So the immediate final default judgment, I'm asking her to hurry this along. And so, yeah, she's going on 3 days now, 3.5 days, because they got it put on at 1:16 p.m., 1:18 p.m., even though I filed at 11. But the clerks never sent me the email that they gave me on all these others. They were pissed. Because I pointed out that everybody is changing their behavior now. Clerks filed correctly, so that they now don't file correctly. Yeah. But also pointed out that the governor also knows. I'm able to tie it to him now. Because remember how in the beginning, even though he was late, he was among the first Republican governors to shut down Utah. It was sort of a voluntary thing, but Utahns understood, this is a virus, we need to stay home, we don't want to die. But then Herbert is caught committing crimes. And he's opening up early, and he's downgrading us too soon, and he's committing more crimes, and he's getting other people in trouble so that he can open up early, which is a crime. Because the airport director, still haven't heard from him. I mentioned that in that immediate final default judgment, as I'm pointing out that Herbert is behaving that in a manner that benefits the church, because the church has access to flee. They've got access to the airport thanks to Herbert, and they've got missionary credentials, which is sort of like an ambassadorship level of protection when you flee or when you fly. And I pointed out there is just cause for suggesting that they're going to flee. And I pointed out some other facts that the church would have been involved with the investment drops. One as the coronavirus started, which is right after they got served, and then the one on that Thursday after I had filed on the 7th. So that would have been the 9th. And the stock market dropped 1,800 for some reason. The news was assuming it was because of coronavirus is still continuing. No. No. They'd already done that back in February and March, selling all their stock in non-friendly coronavirus stocks and then reinvesting in coronavirus-friendly stocks. And then, yeah, this past week, I didn't even get to mention that. I exposed the church for the Fed funneling money to the church through their investments. So, yeah, I got to include Governor Herbert among the list of those who are aiding and abetting the church, and showing the extent of the criminal activity here in Utah. And then we find out that the church has still got the missions going on in Russia. They found that out today. The church was supposed to be banned from missionary work in Russia. That's why the missionaries got arrested when they were found in Russian territory. Finally going to sleep again. Alrighty. 31 minutes. Maybe I'll wait and do this tomorrow. And I'll just go to bed. Let's do that. So let me make a note of it. Make and upload lawsuit review video. So we'll have a new YouTube employee working in the morning. If they intercept all the other appeals and feedbacks that I was sending, that's going to piss me off. Maybe I should just re-upload it and give it a different title. Personal video about my health problems, something like that. We'll see if that gets sent through. Unless they somehow tracked my video now. Oh, you can't use that content! We've got it flagged already! But yeah, there's no way a random YouTube viewer would go on to my channel, watch my video, and think, oh, this is highly inappropriate to talk about your personal health problems. I'm gonna flag this video. No, there's no way that's the case. It is somebody who has been spying and stalking me, watching, waiting to attack. And like I said, most likely Percy. And if Percy, if you're listening, back off. Leave me alone. I left you alone. You chose not to leave me alone. And so you then got included in the lawsuit. You were ordered by the West Valley City Police to leave me alone. And you did for a whole year. But then all of a sudden you decide to mess with my life again. And so you need to back off, because you are getting in trouble. That's what this shows. Judge Oberg's purposeful delay means she is busted and the church is lost. And as a defense prosecuting, or a federal defense counsel, this is what they do. Uh-oh, my client's in trouble. Let's delay. Your Honor, we'd like to motion for a continuance. 3 years? Is that good? Yeah. That's a defense strategy. Delay. And so that's why I put in that motion for immediate final default judgment, is because her delay is uncharacteristic and there's resulting crimes as a result of it. So, well, I think I can go to bed now. But yeah, when you go through trauma, it's best to just let it all out, talk it out. And YouTube was supposed to be that outlet. And unfortunately, they set it up for us to be further victimized when we use YouTube to talk about our health problems, to talk about our being victimized by criminal behavior and haters and people who just want to cause harm to us, as they are trying to censor and remove people's cell phone videos of cops committing crimes. Oh, we can't show that, because remember during that was it November 1st? It was the October 31st concert in Las Vegas, but then the 1st was when the news was going on about it, because that's when it happened, I guess. And there were so many problems with the reporting in Las Vegas. I found a Las Vegas channel to listen to them because they're more reliable, I thought. And they're already saying the shooter was from this apartment. What? No, you're supposed to say the accused. And well, he's dead, so we can blame him now. No, you can't. And they showed a person in the hospital who supposedly had been shot in the chest, but they just had the gauze padding just lying on top. It wasn't taped to his body, and there was no blood stain. I'm sorry, but I've been involved in those kinds of situations. You're going to see blood, and that's why you need to tape it down. You need to have pressure put on wounds. And to not have blood, to not have it taped down, and they're trying to tell us that, oh, this guy was shot in the chest, and oh, he's being reunited with his friend. And I'm just going, this is wrong. Something's wrong. And then I find out that the setting for the shooting was at the Luxor temple, or the pyramid. And I'm like, it's set up like the temple where the altar would be for sacrifices. What the? And yet people are saying, oh, this is a real story. We need to ban bump stock. And then I'm hearing reports about these auditions for an event that took place there. And yeah, it had all the hallmarks of a false flag operation, but it involved the news. And so, yeah, to have YouTube censoring and removing people's personal cell phone videos where the people were saying, hey, this is not real, nobody's getting shot, it's from that speaker up there. Because supposedly all these people were getting blown away. You know, the one guy who was reunited with his buddy was interviewed, and he's, oh yeah, guy got his head blown off. Oh my God. And yet still to this day, I hear the news, MSNBC even, say, oh, it was a real event, and people were trying to call it a false flag situation, like the school shooting, and I did the research on that and trying to find out. And I did find some guys that were trying to do audio analysis and showing how, no, that's not the proper firing. And to find out other news reports that got squashed about federal officers being booked into that hotel room or into the hotel, just the floor below, and then somebody even posted a video of him in another Atlanta or somewhere out in the East Coast, southern East Coast, at a casino, gambling. And we never really did get to see the video footage inside the hotel, where supposedly he was carrying in the bags with the guns and blah blah blah, which they were reporting the FBI were the ones that carried them in. And then when they finally showed us the room, it was not consistent with an assault through the window. They had the shells everywhere. That's not how it works. That's not what it would look like. It was just wrong all over the place. You know, just like 9/11. You have a guy that designs a computer program to show, oh, see, it falls straight down at the amount of time that it fell down. And he's fooling everybody on YouTube. He's still on there today. It's fake news to cover up what really happened. You know, talk about violating community guidelines. You know, we had the BYU professor of physics saying, no, no, this ain't right. Something's wrong here. It's violating the laws of physics. The only way it could fall that quickly, because it's only a few seconds more than the speed of gravity, falling with a free fall of gravity. You can't have a building structure do a free fall just from planes crashing at the top, because the building was purposely designed to withstand those jet crashes. And then you have the building itself, which floor by floor, there's the framing that supports the upper structures, so that the lower structures can handle the weight of the upper structures. And so if the upper structures do collapse, the lower structures are going to be strong enough to withstand the weight. And so there's no way it should have free-falled. If it were to completely collapse, it would have been a rather than a something's wrong. And the BYU professor knew it. And the only way to explain it was that there were charges set at various floors to be synchronized to explode, so it could be a free fall, like a demolition of a building that you do in New York. And then you find out that, hey, the security for those buildings was a Bush brother? And so then you find out that he apparently quit now that after it's happened, the information has been deleted, and you can only find out that he was in charge of the building security up until a year before. Well, who was the security after then? Nothing. Nobody was security after that. Right. And so it's those details that screw up everything, that have people saying, hey, no, we're crying foul. That's what my case is all about. I have found, and I'm crying foul. You guys were paying the person who had me disappeared. You know, that's the one thing you're supposed to keep secret. And they didn't do it. It's because they expected me to be gone forever. I wasn't supposed to get out. It was a mistake for me to get out. But I got out, and the church apparently was not made aware that I got out. Only my parents. Oh, yeah, well, we've got to tell your parents because they put in a request to be notified. I'm over 18. The lawsuit was not against my parents, or from my parents. It was from the church. There was just so many things done wrong with my case. And I was disappeared. I was helpless. Ineffective counsel that was appointed to me. And then I go and find out that, oh, they have quotas. Oh, that's nice. They get rewarded for the amount of cases that they conclude, regardless of whether they win them or not. Isn't that nice? So, yeah, it was a big setup, as the whole system needs to be redesigned to conform to the Constitution. So, alrighty, yeah, I'm not gonna upload this tonight.